Let's welcome in our panel to talk more about this. Republican strategist Erin Perrine is with us. Also back, Patrice Leon-Wuka. She's the director of the Center for Economic Opportunity at the Independent Women's Forum. And Jack Brewer, retired NFL player and entrepreneur, with us as well. Erin, let's go to you first on this one. I just want to get your reaction to Khamenei's report there. And also, why do you think now we're finally allowed to talk about this without threat of censorship or being canceled?
Well, the truth does eventually come out, and it has come out in this case for Hunter Biden. I applaud both Senator Johnson and Senator Grassley for their tireless and thorough investigation. This is what Congress should be doing, is actual appropriate investigations into whether or not there are conflicts of interest or there's any criminal elements that are going on pertaining to the president, his son, and his brother. I mean, this reaches far. And the reason it's not getting silenced anymore is because Republicans, conservatives continue to push, continue to engage, continued to dig when everybody else tried to silence us, to say this is real, Hunter's laptop is real, and the big guy is probably Joe Biden. So at this point, the wave is crashing down on the Biden family, and I look forward to Republicans continuing these investigations to get to the bottom of the Biden Inc. grift.
Yeah, the Republican investigations in Congress potentially, but what happens within the Justice Department? Merrick Garland was asked about that. He says he doesn't comment on ongoing investigations. But Patrice, I also want to focus on the conservative activist who gave lawmakers and news outlets Hunter Biden's laptop. He says he's recovered more than 120,000 deleted emails and 80,000 images on a huge cache of new data from Hunter Biden's laptop. Now, we've all seen the pictures, a lot of them anyway. They're pretty salacious. I can only imagine what he decided to delete. Patrice.
Oh, it's insane. I mean, I think it's so devastating that we have a sitting president whose son was peddling access to the then vice president at the time, now president. And his personal activities aside, I mean, Hunter Biden has been addicted to drugs. He's had a very rocky personal life, and I think that there are a lot of people who can understand that. But it's what he's done and how he has leveraged his father's name to benefit himself and his brother and his family. And it's disgusting. I don't want to see what other photos and other images are out there that have been leaked, but it tells us a lot about the Biden family. And the reason why this is now a story, and make no mistake, the legacy mainstream media, they're very careful now to parse out Hunter and even Biden's brother and President Biden, because they're still trying to protect President Biden. They're hopeful that it can be, well, this is just a problem of Hunter Biden, who's been a problem child from the beginning. This is nothing to do with President Biden. And they're simply doing that because that is their guy, and because it's shameful how they've covered for him and covered up the story until now. The mainstream media has a whole lot of egg on their face, and they're trying to clean it up before things get worse.
Yeah, there's already things we can't unsee from the first round of pictures. We don't need any more of that. And the guy's name is Jake Maxey. He previously worked for Steve Bannon at the mailroom, but he told the Daily Mail he had to go to Switzerland because he is fearing his own life. Jack, I also want to talk about the New York Post's headline here. They list out a dozen different times Joe Biden played a role in his son's business dealings. Some of the examples from the article include Hunter Biden acknowledged in 2019 in a New Yorker magazine article that he and his dad once discussed Hunter's job on the board of Burisma, which is the Ukrainian gas company that paid him like close to $85,000 a month. But we still hear this line from the White House, Jack. They never talked about it. They've never been involved. Is that why Jen Psaki's leaving? She can't keep this up anymore?
Of course it is. I mean, think about it. He was taking the vice presidential plane of the United States of America to countries doing business deals with his son. I mean, that was clear. You just look at the dates of some of these transactions and those things that happen. I mean, it really is embarrassing. And I'll tell you what, I think the reason that you're seeing a lot of the left-wing mainstream media start to talk about this now is because of the despicable Biden policies that we're seeing. People are trying to distance themselves from this man because they understand that if you're a congressional leader right now and you tie yourself to Biden, you're under attack. It's going to be hard for you to win in certain constituencies across the U.S. If you're the mainstream media and you have pushed this man and you see what's happening with our economy and gas prices, what's happening with our public schools and our transportation and all the many issues we're having as a country in less than a year and a half, When you see these things start to happen, you start understanding why now all of a sudden they want to see what's the reality and talk about it. I mean, these things are serious issues. All 12 of these instances that the New York Post highlighted are serious. You would be locked up if you were you. They would put us in jail for it. And so to have a sitting president that's this compromised while we have national threats, international threats, and people fighting wars, it really does put every American at risk. And at some point, Republican or Democrat, we have to stand up for what's right in this nation. And that's doing something about this despicable man we have in the White House.
The timeline here, again, it's so... It angers so many people that this story was suppressed right before the election. It's all coming out right now. You know, when Barack Obama at the White House a couple of days ago said, hey, we got a great story to tell. Let's go tell it. I assume he wasn't talking about Hunter Biden, but maybe he was, because maybe he, like a lot of Democrats now, see the president's approval numbers and they want to move on to something else. We will see. Aaron, great to see you. Jack and Patrice as well. You guys are all coming back. We have plenty more to talk about.